Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at gcnlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Watch the greenbacks tumble.
Everyone all set, cocked, locked? Here we go. Your dial is set correctly to usaprepares.com. I'm Vincent Finelli, and with us for 2 hours, Dr. Richard Allen Miller. Welcome, Rick.
Good morning. I know, I'm not going to laugh. I'm going to try to whine a little bit. Sorry. I'm good at whining. I learned how to do that when I was a little kid.
Well, whenever you,
that's what they taught me how to do, is to play Broken Wing and whine.
Yep. So you're a little bit frosted. I know that. And do you want to share
I'm
that?
worse than frosted. I'd like to bust a bubble. I think it's time everybody realizes that there's more going on in this earth than you realize in terms of layers on the onion and how it all plays out. I was reading about Stanley Kubrick, who was murdered. He didn't die. After he gave disclosure about the moon. How's that one for Hollywood?
Yeah, you're pretty frosted at Hollywood. I was looking at I was looking on the internet, and there's this picture of this Hollywood actress, and she's got this cowboy hat on. That's a huge brimmed cowboy hat. I mean, really huge brim, and she's walking with her ridiculously jacked up shoes.
Yeah, that's Hollywood, all right. And their Beamers, and their Audis, and their Jaguars, and their sense of importance.
Mm-hmm. Well, this gal has on a pair of glasses. And they look ridiculous. I mean, they are probably, if you add up both sides, 3 inches wider than her face. They have a lot of plastic. They look like something that a child would wear. Something you might see in a circus.
Like Lolita. How's that one for an image? Her sunglasses.
Well, she's got this bikini top on, and she's got this great big cowboy hat. And she's got these shredded, short, cut-off blue jeans with holes all over.
Yeah, that's the style. That's it.
Okay. She's got bleached hair. She's probably a brunette, and she's got this bleached hair. It looks pretty well abused, her hair. Made up, and she's got these jacked up shoes on. But this cowboy hat, the brim is not the farthest thing out front. This gal has probably been modified multiple times. So
modified. Will the real cheese stand up, please?
and so her chest is out farther. I mean, if you were to walk straight into a wall, her chest would hit first, then the brim of her cowboy hat. Okay, that's how much it looks like this gal's been modified.
I wonder, never mind. I just wonder where it's all going. Well, entertainment is a critical, one of the 7 pieces of survival that's important to us. Entertainment, just like water and food, it's a category. And they use that as a absolute way of manipulating everybody and their styles. And when I was in L.A., Los Angeles. I had no idea. I had never seen anything like that. It's kind of like different than Mexico City. It's an eye-opener. It's like, what? And the driving there, if I were to smoke even one puff on my marijuana joint, I would have been at serious risk. You have to be dead on in your driving. I got home and I could tell when someone was from LA by the way they're driving, and I could tell how many months they've been here to decelerate. Oh, you've been here 7 months. You get me? It's crazy.
I'm back to this gal in this picture. This is like a circus act. These, if you see these unhappy, angry children that are acting on the big screen and the little screen, their lives are disheveled. They are me first people. They are really proud of their possessions. They are really proud of the way they look. They're so proud they take pictures and they send them to all their friends. These selfie pictures. It's ridiculous how they
Here's
look,
where
how
I'm
they
coming
act.
from. I was impressed that the city of Hollywood wanted to be the first city to sponsor an urban survival skill workshop for their constituency. That was the big deal. They were going to do this for their constituency, and they wanted to have a discount for anyone that lived inside that 47th borough. There's 47 different councils in Los Angeles. That's how big it is. I have one in Grants Pass. We have one, I don't know, in your town. They had 47 of them. And it was the Hollywood district that wanted to do this. However, only 2 people registered from the city of Hollywood for the workshop. How does that work?
They're living in a different world. A completely different world.
Yeah, and they don't want people to know because the city put it on. It's like when they do a movie. Oh, sure, we're going to do this movie. And then they put it on the shelf. It was done with intent. I had a massive rock station ready and eager to have interview made. That's why I went in and spent an extra $1,000 a head to promote the thing. Okay, not only did the radio station cancel, nobody interviewed me, nobody interviewed Matt, nobody interviewed anything. Did they show up to film it? No. We were told there will probably be about 600 people Friday night open to the public. 26 people showed up. Mostly people that were registered and had flown in because of our thing from out of the country, out of the state. Now, I did have a good time in Hollywood because Kerry Cassidy took me to Yamashiro's for my birthday, and then a couple took us to the Magic Castle. That's impossible. I've got a story on that guy, too.
Well, did you want to share that, or do you?
Oh, sure. Yeah, the owner. Okay, Magic Castle is usually booked up for 6 weeks ahead. You can't get in. You have to. It's a big, high-end, front-end Magic Castle, and they do magic tricks there. And the owner of the place came up to our table. How did we get that table? I got a table for 6 in less than half an hour. How did that happen? Okay, so here we are, and the owner comes up, and he asks me what the difference between magic with a C and magic with a K is. And my response was, well, magic with a C is sleight of hand, and magic with a K is sleight of mind. And the guy says, hope that works for you. That was his comment.
Back in 1993, a movie came to our little hamlet in Virginia. And the movie was called Sommersby. Let me spell that. Sommersby. And it was about after an absence from fighting in the War of Northern Aggression. This man comes back to his village. And when this movie was filmed, it was filmed in a town called Charlotte Courthouse, Virginia. And there was a trial there, and in this courthouse, it's the same courthouse that I sat in when I was called to jury duty, and they threw me off the jury. But I was there. And what they did, I just want to share a backstory about Hollywood. So the road in front of the courthouse is paved, and there are power lines that bring power overhead into the courthouse, and it's like in a little village square. Well, what Hollywood did was they brought in a truck to pump in air conditioning through one of these windows, because there was no air conditioning in the courthouse in 1993, and they trucked in dirt, and they put dirt all over the paved roads. So when you looked across, the lawn in front of the courthouse when the camera was filming, it looked like dirt roads. So they went through what I would consider great lengths to transform a modern building, a courthouse that, it's been there for, maybe 100 years, but they transformed it into what it might have looked like with the roads being dirt just after the War of Northern Aggression. Jodie Foster was there, and Richard Gere was there, and some of my friends at the time were extras in this movie. And the stories that I heard about Jodie Foster was she was pretty grumpy. And people liked Richard Gere, but they said, boy, Jodie Foster, they didn't realize how grumpy she was. I guess the backstory that I'm trying to tell is you think of these Hollywood people as having everything perfect in their lives. They look, a little younger than their age. That's because they've been rebuilt. If you see one of these Hollywood women without makeup, it's pretty frightening. It really is. I mean, who'd want to wake up next to that?
Patty Duke died 2 days ago. Someone I really grew up in the movies watching. Patty Duke was 69 years old. Why did she die so early?
Seems pretty early to me. I mean, boy, that's sad. And she was like the All-American girl in the Patty Duke show. It was the All-American girl, clean cut, right? Yep. And now that's not what we have in Hollywood. Dr. Richard Allen Miller and I'll be right back. Now, we have a special report about radiation in California. Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from ironedison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of ironedison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our ironedison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I've found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at ironedison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
Is negative content or comments on the web affecting your personal or professional reputation? Unfavorable comments, embarrassing pictures, videos, legal documents, and negative articles can ruin your personal life, your career, or your business. It happens a lot, and it's just not fair. But what can you do? ReputationDefender.com can help protect your good name. Get a free consultation now. Call 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Call right now for a free expert expert reputation analysis. It's easy to squash the unfair attacks with our patented system, and the analysis is absolutely free. Make the best things about you jump out in searches. Protect your personal and professional reputation, your business, and your income. Get your free reputation analysis from reputationdefender.com right now. Call 800-831-0771. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Or visit reputationdefender.com today.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
75 years ago, America suffered one of the worst moments in American history, the attack on Pearl Harbor. Now you can remember December 7th, 1941, with the purchase of the first ever 75th anniversary Pearl Harbor legal tender solid gold coin from the U.S. Money Reserve. Call 1-800-490-3200 right now for the official 75th anniversary Pearl Harbor legal tender gold coin from the U.S. Money Reserve, the only company authorized to distribute these 100% solid gold coins. Remember Pearl Harbor with this limited official gold release. 1-800-490-3200 or online at usmoneyreserve.com.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest priced filtration systems in every size. For incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency, get to goberkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. goberkey.com.
So, Rick, you went to Los Angeles, and you found that they didn't promote the event the way that you had expected. And
they didn't promote me or us at all. Not they didn't like I expected.
Well, that's no different from the city of Lebanon, Missouri.
Yeah, I know, exactly. Just there's one example where everybody at your conference was from the area. Guess why I don't want to have anything to do with Hollywood ever again. Script writing, all of it.
Well, we had people from 6 countries and 44 states at our expo. But what, I paid a lot for radio advertising in the local market. But what I found out was the government, the City of Lebanon Corporation, was really, they liked having the revenue. They liked having the sales tax for all those people who came to the event. But they are not interested in our message. You would think that they'd say, let's take care of our people.
At our workshop with an NRAP, I don't know, the fire truck and squad cars, thinking I was a terrorist.
Yep, that's right. That's right. And I know someone who is close to the city government of Lebanon, Missouri, and this person was, how do I say this? This person is the mother of a young girl who knows our son very well. And so this person was like, you know the Finelli family? Oh my gosh. And it was like we were evil. It was like we are the worst people on the planet. And this is from the government of Lebanon.
There's your
Missouri.
tax dollar at work. With Hollywood,
we are evil.
That's where all the money is. Look, think about this. That is where all the money is. Why is that?
Yeah. And you allow your children to associate with that family? Are you kidding? The Finellis are terrible. That was the message. And also the second part of that message is all of the cops in Lebanon, Missouri hate Vincent Finelli. Now, I haven't met them all, but I do know a couple of them who came to the expo who I invited to not attend in uniform the expo. I had told them they could come off duty, they could come out of uniform, but they said, this is who I am. I am a cop. I'm part of what I would call the Blue Plague, and they just proved it. They proved they're part of the Blue Plague. Anyway, the bottom line is they do not like our message. I was told by the guy who runs the Cowan Civic Center that they in so many words they do not like our message. And what is our message?
Matt all Friday night talking about radiation, pandemics, and the coronal mass ejections. And guess what's happening now?
Well, I have a report on it, and I'd like to do that report after the bottom of the hour break, so we'll have a lot of time.
Roger
to talk about
that. Yeah, go for it.
And this information that we have is a result of a conference call that I was on with numerous instructors. There was 3 instructors involved in this conference call, and it is radiation readings that were taken by one of your instructors' class on the ground in and around the Los Angeles area within the last several days. I have the numbers in front of me, and you won't believe it. And before we get into that, Rick, I want to tell you that I was in the vehicle in the truck with our son and Mrs. Finelli traveling through Springfield, Missouri last night. And everybody was hungry, and the decision was, well, let's go to Fuddruckers. And Fuddruckers is a hamburger joint, and they claim they've got the world's best hamburgers. Well, for about $22, I think it is, plus tax, maybe it's $24, 4 people can eat. And you can have a hamburger, french fries, and a drink, and all the condiments you want for 4 people for a little over $20 plus tax. It comes out to $26 with tax. I want to tell you a little bit about that when we come back, then we're going to get right into radiation. Okay. 2 stories you might be interested in. Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us, docram.com, DOCRAM.com.
Are you worried about how dangerous the world has become? In these days of terrorist attacks, natural disasters, or even a future collapse, you need to be medically prepared to keep your family safe. I'm Joe Alton, MD of store.doomandbloom.net, where you'll find an entire line of uniquely designed medical kits and supplies for when help is not on the way. For everything from individual first aid kits to the ultimate family medical bag, go to store.doomandbloom.net today. That's store.doomandbloom.net. You'll be glad you did.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
Hey everyone, with 20 plus years as a radio host, I've seen about everything. One thing that keeps recurring though are these timeshare charlatans. These high pressure salespeople who get folks to come out to some resort for a special weekend offer. Then they get them in a corner and browbeat them and coerce them into buying a timeshare they don't need, they don't want, and they can't afford. And then they're stuck with that thing forever. Monthly payments, mortgage payments, annual fees that keep going up and up. Well, up until recently, people thought they couldn't get rid of these things. You know, you can't get out of the contract, you can't get out of the deed or the membership. Well, that's not true. My friends at American Consumer Credit, a timeshare release company, can get you free. That's their personal guarantee. 12 years in business, free consultation, A+ rating with the BBB, they're the real deal. You want to get out of your timeshare contract? Call them now. 800-587-EXIT. That's 800-587-3948, 800-587-EXIT. Call now, 800-587-3948.
Are your Google search results killing you? Unflattering content in blogs, news articles, online reviews, social media, or other sources can jeopardize your reputation, your business, and your livelihood. Let Reputation.com help. Our patented technology will make the truth about you more visible while pushing down unwanted negative content. Improve your Google search results. Call Reputation.com at 1-800-831-0771 for a free consultation. That's 800-831-0771.
Hey guys, Pat Matthews here to tell you about the newest and best way to sell products online. It's buysellmakeoffer.com, an enormously revolutionary way to sell your stuff online. It's time to clean out the garage, your old golf clubs, sports equipment, tools, and yes, even your car. Forget about the way the other guys have taken more than their share from you when the sales were finalized. Look, it's happened to me over and over and over. Then I found buysellmakeoffer.com. They will never charge you item fees. Just go there right now to sign up and load all your stuff to our server to sell. This is not an auction site. Sell your car, sell your home. Realtor, sign up now. Just use our resources along with Skype and videos, then add your creativity to sell your items quickly and with no fees. Go right now to buysellmakeoffer.com and sign up. The excitement is building. I've signed up to sell my stuff with buysellmakeoffer.com. You should too. buysellmakeoffer.com.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
Remember Pearl Harbor. Now you can buy, for the first time ever, the 75th anniversary Pearl Harbor legal tender solid gold coin from the U.S. Money Reserve. Call 1-800-329-6700 right now or go online to usmoneyreserve.com. 1-800-329-6700.
Biochemistry determines your mood, memory, energy, and endurance. Your body's primary metabolic function is to make protein. One World Whey is a unique, non-denatured protein. This enables your body to have virtually 100% utilization, whereas typical whey protein powders offer no more than 18% utilization of protein. One World Whey also delivers life-giving frequencies to your cells. The net result for so many people is improved energy, mood, and elimination of pain from inflammation.
This technologically enhanced One World Whey has been really amazing for me. I'm 36 years old, and for the past several years, I've been struggling with lack of energy, drive, and stamina. And after just 2 weeks on this product, I'm feeling so much more energy. My yoga practice has deepened, and as a massage therapist, I'm able to see more clients than I've been able to in years. I've never felt results that quick with anything I've ever taken.
Call 888-988-3325 or visit oneworldwhey.com. That's oneworld.com.
That's Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us. DocRam.com. DocRam.com. Yes.
I have something to say right now, too, Vincent. I posted on Facebook yesterday, Project Blackjack. Now we are being manipulated into the largest bank crash in history. It started with MI5 using fear as a tool. And when I looked at it this morning, guess what Facebook did? I had, last night when I posted it, more than 2,800 views on it. But this morning, there was only 1,700 rather than 2,800. What happened? I also, it's Project Blackjack. Go to Facebook. My Facebook is docram.com. Look at I have a second post under it saying risk of nuclear war in Europe growing, warns Russian ex-minister. There it is. That's what they're doing, is manipulating Europe into a war because America won't buy it. It is Hollywood at their very finest, manipulating the world. That's why all the money is down there in Hollywood. And they're, being run from somewhere, I don't know, on Mars or Europe. Let's name some names like Rothschild and the Comte Saint Germain family. Now, Hollywood was supposed to make this thing an event for their 47th borough. And that was what I went down there with the hopes of finally starting a trend of no longer being a starving artist. I lost money and I came home and I am so broke I'm considering a job at Bimart at 72 years old, me. I'm fed up with all of it. I would rather go on payroll on Hollywood and go up in the mountains somewhere and be a quiet farmer. I'm going to make it costly for them.
Rick, when we had our Expo number 1 and 2 at downtown Springfield, Missouri, the city
I had 100 times as many people show up at your event than Hollywood. 100 times. How does that work?
Yeah, we're in the middle of nowhere.
Well, there
Rick,
it is. Read and wait.
let me,
And what do you think Hollywood needs right now? According to the city, they want to educate their constituents, and they didn't. They kept them complacent by not wanting to open the door and make them a little more self-reliant. They would rather have them walking in high platform shoes. By the way, those high platform shoes come from China, and it was called hobbling, where they would take a child and break their feet and wrap it. You can watch that one in the movie Marco Polo. It's terrible.
You know, you're right, Rick. I used to kind of chuckle at some of the people who would come as operatives to our meetups many years ago. And these people would show up, and it'd be the winter time, and you could always tell them because they didn't have boots on. They had like flip-flops or sandals. Yeah, sandals. And I'd laugh and I'd say, you know, I guess your car won't break down on the way home, or your truck won't break down on the way home, and you're not going to have to walk in the rain. So you're all set. I mean, everything's, you know, life is just perfect. And I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe how
before I finish anymore, I want to personally thank everyone out there who supports me. I'm a starving artist, and your emails, your phone calls, they are all very precious to me. They give me incentive to want to continue. I did the higher side chats a couple days ago. That's the only thing that's saving my bacon right at this very moment. I would have been overdrawn today without that radio apparently creating more book sales for me. And I have to tell you, I'm on Steam, and basically I feel Hollywood went out with intent to break me financially. I think so. I may be wrong. I am surprised. I have to tell you that one of the feedbacks I'm getting consistently from everyone is that my physics is sound. That what I'm doing, no other physicist out there is doing right now. Why? I have some friends from JPL that are retired, insiders, that are sending me information from Europe. And I can tell you, it is not very pleasant. You know, the top or bottom of the hour, here we are. You want to talk about it? I can tell you that there's more going on in this world than your public is being notified on. And it's just, they don't want people to know.
That's
no me
question.
saying that.
Rick, let me just add a couple data points to this, and then we'll get into radiation. When we had our first and second expo downtown Springfield, Missouri, the operation is run by the city. They had an empty parking lot. It was Saturday, Sunday. There was nothing going on except our event. They would not let us use the parking lot without everybody paying $5 to use the parking lot. It was an empty parking lot. Empty. They wouldn't let us use it. So that's for 2 expos. Then we go to the Ozark Empire Fairgrounds in the county, and that's a joint venture between the county and the city. What do? Well, the Wi-Fi gets shut off, you know, the wireless access. And then that meant that our exhibitors had a really tough time conducting commerce, because that was before you could do commerce on cell phones. Okay? You needed Wi-Fi to run your PC or your laptop and conduct commerce. They shut Wi-Fi off. They shut the air conditioning off. That was the Ozark Empire Fairgrounds. Then we go to Lebanon, because we've had it with with the first location. We've had it with the second location. We think, okay, we'll go to Lebanon. They've got to be a lot better. They send the cops, then the fire trucks, and the canine team, and then they declare war on us.
By
and
the
they
way,
made it so.
I need to say this. I just went to NETC, and right this moment, guess what, Hollywood? You're at RadCon 3.
Right.
That's what your city and council have done for you.
Mm-hmm. Here we go. So let's do this report that our instructors. Okay, class. You'll just have to take my word for this if you want to. I was on a conference call this morning with there are 3 instructors involved, and here is a report on the ground in the Los Angeles area of counts per minute with radiation detection equipment. Now, I'm not going to mention the individuals involved in this, but I guarantee if I did, you would say you absolutely believe the information is accurate. Okay. So, let's start with this. In Santa Monica, California, there's a pier where people were fishing. And there are signs that say, don't eat the fish. Contaminated fish. Don't eat the fish. Well, there were some people that appeared to be from Mexico who were fishing there. And one of your instructors measured the radiation of the fish that they caught. 900 counts per minute. Rick, what does that mean? 900 counts per minute.
That's 100 times, more than 100 times above normal radiation background. 100 times.
Okay.
At 1,000 times, it now becomes lethal.
Okay.
100 times, you'll have an LD50 ratio of, you don't even want to go there. That means 50% of the people will die. That's what LD50 ratio means. It's happening right then, right there, and the city intentionally stopped that knowledge base, brought us in like a movie that they say, oh yes, we'll film it. And then, do you know they put us in the chapel where you couldn't even hear us? And right across from where we were is Cecil B. DeMille's burial ground. I've had enough.
Well, we've got more, Rick. So, your instructor measured apples. I'm talking about, apples that you would pick and, wash and, okay, 800 counts per minute apples that were being sold in that Los Angeles area. Whole milk. Whole milk was 400 to 500 counts per minute. Whole milk. Broccoli was...
that you get in Safeway stores up here in Grants Pass, yes.
Okay, I don't have the number for broccoli. Butter, 380 to 400. So butter, 380 to 400 counts per minute. Whole milk is 400 to 500 counts per minute. Apples, 800. Okay, let's continue with some of the other information. Let's go to the beach. Santa Monica Beach. The sand was measured on the beach at 500 to 700 counts per minute.
That means there will be people that are going to die as a result of that exposure to that sand, especially if you're laying in it.
Well, is it possible to lay in the sand and not breathe some of it? Is it possible?
Oh, no. That's why you have dosimetry badges.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's talk about the water. Now, this is Santa Monica Beach, and this is as reported to me this morning on a conference call. The water was withdrawn and measured at 1,100 to 1,400 counts per minute. The water, 1,100 to 1,400 counts per minute. Santa Monica Beach, California. This was within the last few days. When we come back, we'll talk about some of the hot spots. And we'll talk about Manhattan Beach, Seal Beach, and let's talk about the carpeting at some of the stores where you may shop in California. We'll be right back. Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from IronEdison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of IronEdison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our IronEdison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I've found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at IronEdison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
Worried about lead, fluoride, and other contaminants in your drinking water? Get a ProPure with the Pro 1G 2.0 cleanable reusable filter and remove up to 200 contaminants. Drink water the way nature meant it to be. Clean, crisp, and refreshing. See the complete line of ProPure products, including the new ProMax shower filter. There's a ProPure for you. Visit your authorized ProPure dealer for details or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com or 800-544-3533.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Sciatica, lower back pain, hip pain, poor posture. If you suffer from any of these problems, get ready to relax. Introducing an amazing product that's been in the market for over 25 years, the Sacro Wedgie. It was invented by a football coach using a common sense osteopath technique. He created this device to help his athletes by isolating and supporting the sacrum, which is the keystone of our anatomy. This wedge-shaped bone is in the center of our hips, where a lot of pain starts. Simply relax 20 minutes daily on the amazingly simple Sacro Wedgie and let gravity do the work, helping muscles rebalance and start releasing nerves. Sit in the Sacro Wedgie at the computer or while traveling to help correct posture to finally help relieve those stubborn aches and pains for only $33.95. It's made in the USA, so click the family-owned website at sacrowedgie.com, spelled SACROWEDGY.com, or call 1-800-737-9295. That's 1-800-737-9295. Relax your back pain away with the Sacro Wedgie.
For the most amazing, calming, brain-stabilizing, blood sugar, and natural addiction-breaking formula, try CalMind. Anxiety melts, panic is gone, sleep is restful, and you'll stay calm during stress. Better than booze, mind-altering drugs, or anti-anxiety, antidepressant, toxic medications, CalMind lubricates your mind so you'll sail through the day effortlessly. Order Dr. Bill Deagle's Nutridyne at 888-212-8871 or NutriMedical.com and listen to the NutriMedical Report every weekday on the GCN Radio Network. NutriMedical, bringing nutrition and medicine together.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich? Working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare? Having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom106.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom, the number 106.com. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom106.com.
Looking for that edge during those intimate moments? We see many ads for enhancement, but the side effects include death. At GCN Team, we should change the Healthy Body, Brain, and Heart Pack to the Healthy Libido Pack. The brain and heart are not the only organs that require a healthy vascular system. For proper blood flow at the right moment, go to gcnteam.com or call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
Class Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us, and we're talking about a very serious
Yeah, I noticed
topic.
you didn't laugh when the commercial broke. I noticed you didn't do your
Well, here's what we've got, Rick. In as previously mentioned, in California, Santa Monica Beach, the sand 500 to 700 counts per minute, and the water sample from the ocean 1,100 to 1,400 counts per minute, and for within 30-second intervals, there were some hot spots on the beach of 2,000 counts per minute. Rick, we reported right here on USA Prepares that this was the worst man-made disaster since Noah's flood, and that was the day after the Fukushima catastrophe. And as I said before, people thought we were goofy and nutty, and they laughed at us. Well, now here it is. We said it's coming here. All the oceans are interconnected, all of them. And I told my family the day that it happened, if you guys like tuna fish, you got to buy it right now, and that's it. That's it. Well, we have not had tuna fish for 5 years. Well, 4 or 5 years now. Anyway, there's a Manhattan Beach near Los Angeles, California. It's south of LAX, the airport. The sand, 500 to 600 counts per minute. Seal Beach, 800 counts per minute for the sand, 1,100 to 1,400 counts per minute in the water. Now, there are some stores that many of our class have visited, and you've been to Target, you've been to Walmart. Well, the carpeting in the store was measured for radiation, radioactivity. 1,200 counts per minute. And we've talked about this, Rick. We've talked about, the new protocol.
How about we do this? Anybody that's listening to this radio broadcast, contact the city of Hollywood and ask them why they were not notified when Matt and I were there to talk exactly about this and how to prepare yourself and what to do next.
Yeah. Do you have any phone numbers you'd like to share?
I don't have them, no. Why don't we do a little research in the next couple of days and come up with some phone numbers so that the city council can be put on yellow alert? Because by the time I'm finished with it, it'll be DEFCON 5. Oh, they don't have a DEFCON 5, do they?
So class, we talked about the apples, 800 counts per minute. We talked about whole milk, 400 to 500 counts per minute. We talked about butter at 380 to 400 counts per minute. We talked about fishing off the pier at Santa Monica, where the signs say, "Don't eat the fish," and the fish were measured by one of your instructors at 900 counts per minute.
We didn't talk about Hanford and how they had to, yesterday, close down on the nuclear reactor plant because it was leaking in the Columbia River. There's page 2. It's happening all around in Florida, and right now I haven't even mentioned Indian Point and New York and the tritium levels in the Hudson River right now. Who's talking about that? And the city did well. We're going to try to prepare our constituency. Yeah, right.
Rick, Mrs. Finelli has not bought Washington apples for at least three decades, at least, because she knew, and she and I talked about this years and years ago, about the Hanford plant, where radiation was enhanced. Radioactivity was enhanced for the Manhattan Project in World War II. It's been leaking in the Columbia River ever since. So this is not new, Rick. It's just maybe making mainstream media, the dinosaur media. We're going into the top of the hour news and commercial announcements, and we'll be right back. Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Hi, it's MZ from KSEO in Santa Cruz. Pleased to announce the first of many free live Doc Wallach appearances around the country. Many of you have heard this tireless health crusader interviewed on Alex's show on Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie and on various other radio, television, and internet shows throughout the world. Doc Wallach has the answer to the U.S. healthcare crisis, and it's real simple and costs very little, and he wants to share it with anyone who will listen. Doc Wallach will appear live at the Best Western Hotel in South San Francisco, California, 380 South Airport Boulevard, beginning at 7 p.m. this Wednesday, March 30th, and the following evening, Thursday, March 31st, starting at 7 p.m. at the VFW Hall, 1960 Freedom Boulevard, Freedom, California, near Watsonville. Both events are free, and if you attend, you will find that it is impossible to be bored at a Doc Wallach lecture. In fact, you'll be amazed as well as riveted. Email mz@kscohealth.com for free reservation.
Everyone all set, cocked, locked. Hour number 2 of USAPrepares.com. Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us, and if you'd like to go to his website and buy his books, DocRam, DocRam.com. Class, the phone has been ringing off the hook here in the studio.
Hey, Vincent, there is a Radcon 4 going on in Tucker, Georgia, right this moment.
That's exactly what I was saying.
On the
Right. You're absolutely right. And I was on the phone during the top of the hour news and commercial announcements, and I was discussing that with one of your instructors, class. We are on top of this, literally, class. We are on top of this all over the world. Your instructors are paying attention to what's happening, and we are talking with them. Now, here's a thought. Here's a thought that came from one of your instructors. You know, we hear the news about this big bad enemy, ISIS, and all this evil they're going to do to us. Well, the radiation is already here. Okay? And you hear the threats of saber rattling, North Korea. You hear the saber rattling of other countries that have nuclear weapons, and they may aim them at the United States. Well, they may get blamed for something that they didn't do. They may get blamed for the radiation that has hit the West Coast. It's already here. And if you look at the map, right now, you're absolutely right, Rick, in Georgia, in Tucker, Georgia, Radcon 4 alert, the highest in the country at this moment right now. Now, the counts per minute are, the current is 28. The low in Tucker, Georgia is 5. The high is 37. Right now, it is at 28. That is nothing compared to what we mentioned, the counts at Santa Monica at 500 on the beach in the sand, 500 to 700 counts per minute. And hot spots reaching 2,000 counts per minute. Class, if you'd like to hear what we're talking about, please listen to hour number 1 of today's broadcast with Dr. Richard Allen Miller. We reported that the radioactivity is in the milk in California, the butter, the fish that were caught off the pier, radiation in fish. Why would anybody eat the fish from the Pacific Ocean? Why would you do that? No, here's a request that we don't often assign homework, but here's a homework assignment for those of you who choose to accept it. In your travels, if you're on the West Coast and you're traveling and you're near the piers, would you please look for signs that say, don't eat the fish, contaminated water, don't swim here, those kinds of things. And would you email those to Vincent at usaprepares.com. Vincent, Vincent, at usaprepares.com. And we will make sure that we post them, but I'll need to know when you took the pictures and where you took the pictures. And if you'd like credit for them, we'll make sure you get credit. If you don't want credit, make sure you tell me that in an email that we can use it, your picture, and that you don't want credit. I will not give you credit if you don't want it. Meaning you can be anonymous if you want to be. Or if you want to get full credit, we'll make sure that you get it. We'll do it any way you want it. But if you can find those pictures, they've got to be bona fide. They've got to be real. And I need to know when and where you took them. Okay. I'm very concerned about this, Rick. I think that our government is so deceptive and so evil that they may actually create a war with people who had nothing to do with any of this.
They already have.
Beat them up and
yeah, they already have done that. You know, that's what Vietnam was all about originally. Like with Donald Trump, when he's elected, watch what happens next. His running mate, his co-pilot, will be the one that's president because Trump is not part of the club. He's buying his own way in. By the way, that's how you do it. You buy your way in, usually on lobbying. Hillary Clinton, the woman that did what Hillary did, less than Hillary, was executed 10 years earlier. Why is Hillary not in jail, in prison right now? Why is she not on death row?
Well, she and her entourage blocked traffic in New York City where haircuts are $600. You know, a haircut and a blow dry, $600. Let me say it a different way. $600 for a haircut where Hillary got her haircut. She and her entourage blocked traffic. And I remember reading the story about her husband, Bill Clinton. He wanted to go shopping. They shut down a mall because he wanted to go shopping. The last thing you want to do is have someone like that show up at your place of business, because nothing is going to happen while they look around and their entourage blocks traffic. And they put snipers on the roof, you know, of the nearby buildings. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. We've seen it in Springfield, Missouri. Rick, let me share this with you. After one of our expos, during the expo in downtown Springfield, Missouri, I asked for a place where we could lock up things that we wanted to make sure were locked up. We'll call it receipts, things like that. So I was given a key to a room by one of the employees. They said, okay, this is the key. You have the key. No one else here has the key to this room. And just return it, you know, after the expo. Well, we were the last ones to leave the expo on a Sunday night. This was in downtown Springfield. And so Monday morning, bright and early, I was bringing the key back to the same person who gave it to me. I wanted to make sure I handed it to that person. So that person knew that I was returning the key. Not giving it to someone who might give it to someone who might give it to him, but giving it to the person who gave it to me. So I pulled up with my my truck, and it's an unusual truck. At the time, it was a 1994 Chevy Blazer. Blue, diesel, full-size Blazer. It's a 1500 Chevy truck with a diesel engine. And I pulled up, and there was nobody there, and I pulled in parking space right outside the front door, and I walked in, and I could hear these guys dressed in body armor, AR-15s. They had rifles, pistols, everything you could possibly think of. They were ready for war. And the only thing you could do was walk in and go a few feet because they had it all sectioned off. They transformed where our expo was the day before into something else. And they had snipers on the buildings around the expo center. Snipers on the roofs of the buildings around. And as I was walking in, they said, Vincent Finelli, blue Chevy Blazer. I was being announced before and as I was walking into the building. They had already researched my license plate as I parked and walked in the door. They knew who I was from somebody on a roof, radioing into inside the building. And I was very surprised at this, and I wasn't going anywhere. All I wanted to do was, I would not be allowed to go past this entry blockade, if you want to call it that. Something was going on in this building behind closed doors. Very secretive. Very secretive. They had satellite communications equipment set up in the parking lot that was not there the night before. Was not there. This stuff was set up overnight. And this was a high security meeting of government employees in Springfield, Missouri. Extremely high security. So high that they had armed guards ready to execute people. Full battle dress. I'm not talking about police. I'm talking about the highest level of SWAT team. That's what I'm talking about. At the Springfield Expo Center. This was several years ago. Things are going on that we don't know about. So
I don't have any comment anymore. I'm tired.
Let me tell you
to educate people.
Well, that's what we're doing right now. Now, we mentioned...
Well, a limited disclosure, who cares? You know, what the listeners of Genesis Radio, they're minor in comparison to, a Hollywood movie like Batman versus Superman.
Well, that's absolutely true. That's absolutely... And I had that discussion with one of our instructors. I said, we go through a great lengths to have an expo and prepare and educate people, but that's nothing compared to one of these Hollywood actri showing up, and they would have thousands of people show up just because an actor or an actress would be here. It's amazing. Or a ball game, watching a bunch of guys with short pants run around jumping on a ball or throwing a ball or hitting a ball with a club.
There is no difference than when Nero played his fiddle and Rome burnt to the ground.
One more piece of data from California's radiation numbers. The carpet at Walmart and the carpet at Target. Now this is where you walk in and your shoes will contact the carpet there. 1,200 counts per minute. 1,200 counts per minute in the Los Angeles area, which is what we need to talk about, Rick. The new analysis, or this analysis, tells us that we need to be careful with what we track into our homes.
That's why I have repeatedly said it's going to require a whole new concept in hygiene.
Yep. And class, tell me if this rings true in your neck of the woods. Are you hearing cancer in every single family? Are you? Because we are. We are. Dr. Richard Allen Miller and I'll be right back. And if you'd like to call us, We'll take your calls, 866-582-9933. Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now, with equipment purchased from ironedison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of ironedison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our ironedison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at ironedison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
Something shocking just happened in a Coast Guard unit in San Diego. The old guys in the unit have turned the tables and are now destroying the young bucks in head-to-head fitness tests. How is this even possible? Turns out the old guys in this unit have been part of a special test group for a doctor-formulated fountain of youth drink called Patriot Power Greens. Patriot Power Greens has been so effective for many of the older soldiers that it's made their achy joints, stiff muscles, and lack of energy a thing of the past. Previously, this drink was only available to elite military units. But for a limited time, the creator of Patriot Power Greens has set aside a small number of free sample packs specifically for our conservative friends. But you must act fast. Due to the high demand from members of the Coast Guard, our supply is extremely limited right now. To claim your free samples of Patriot Power Greens, go to greens75.com. That's greens75.com. greens75.com.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
Remember Pearl Harbor. Now you can buy, for the first time ever, the 75th anniversary Pearl Harbor legal tender solid gold coin from the U.S. Money Reserve. Call 1-800-329-6700 right now or go online to usmoneyreserve.com. 1-800-329-6700.
Sciatica, lower back pain, hip pain, poor posture. If you suffer from any of these problems, get ready to relax. Introducing an amazing product that's been in the market for over 25 years, the Sacro Wedgie. It was invented by a football coach using a common sense osteopath technique. He created this device to help his athletes by isolating and supporting the sacrum, which is the keystone of our anatomy. This wedge-shaped bone is in the center of our hips, where a lot of pain starts. Simply relax 20 minutes daily on the amazingly simple Sacro Wedgie and let gravity do the work, helping muscles rebalance and start releasing nerves. Sit in the Sacro Wedgie at the computer or while traveling to help correct posture to finally help relieve those stubborn aches and pains for only $33.95. It's made in the USA, so click the family-owned website at sacrowedgie.com, spelled SACROWEDGY.com, or call 1-800-737-9295. That's 1-800-737-9295. Relax your back pain away with the Sacro Wedgie.
Looking for that edge during those intimate moments? We see many ads for enhancement, but the side effects include death. At GCN Team, we should change the Healthy Body, Brain, and Heart Pack to the Healthy Libido Pack. The brain and heart are not the only organs that require a healthy vascular system. For proper blood flow at the right moment, go to GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
Class Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us, and Bob in Michigan, you're on with Dr. Richard Allen Miller. Welcome.
Hi, Vince, and hi, Dr. Miller. Dr. Miller's looking for some extra ways to make some money. I might suggest there is a large online auction site, which I probably don't have to mention the major one. An easy way to, let me ask Dr. Miller, has he ever done any business on that site?
No, but I have a bunch of rare comics I never wanted to let go. They're all being used now for Hollywood. I've read how Batman beats Superman. By the way, Superman in the comic book comes back to life, just so everybody knows he doesn't die. In the movie he does, but then at the very end, he wiggles the ground. You see it wiggle a little bit, and then the movie, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Comic books.
Okay, well, yeah. You can actually, if you go around to auction sales and garage sales, you can pick up stuff for, almost nothing and then put it on there and sell it. And there's no limit to how much money you can make that way. So that's just a suggestion.
Thank you, and I do appreciate that. Right now, what it's about is distractions. Mm-hmm. And I am writing. I have a brand new workbook out that sequels Workbook 1. It's Can You Live Off the Grid for 30 Days? I prepared it especially for Hollywood. I'm getting them all sent back here home because there was nobody to sell them to. Now, I don't want to stop writing. That is where my true joy is. I don't enjoy radio. I don't really, this is not my thing. Vincent, others have all asked me to do my own show. Not interested. What I am going to do is probably go back to Bi-Mart and work as a hardware clerk. That's my education going down the drain. There's no interest in my skill sets.
Okay. A couple other things.
Thank you, by the way. I didn't mean to, make little of auction sites. It's not my thing. Money is not my thing. Money isn't real. It's a theatrical prop. What's real is labor. I went down to Hollywood and did labor. I did my presentation to 12 people. That's terrible. That's me as possibly one of the most credible physicists in the world right now. And that's how Hollywood treats that kind of knowledge base. I want everybody to understand exactly what Hollywood is and what it is not.
Okay, Rick, I have a comment on this. Bob, if you could just stand by for a couple seconds.
Sure.
I've been to some small expos, and what's happened is these very small expos have popped up everywhere, and some of the exhibitors will jump ship at the drop of a hat and go to these other expos because they're new. Okay, so some guy will say, I've got an expo and I'm having thousands of people come, and they'll make all these claims, and we're doing all this advertising and so forth, and some of the exhibitors will jump from one to the next, and these small expos have absolutely destroyed, in my opinion, the large expo operations, and they're mostly based on lies. They're lies of how many people are going to attend and so forth. And then let me tell you the second part of that story. The second part is if you say to people who have been to these little expos, and when I talk about a little expo, I'm talking about where 200 people total attend. That would be 200 people who will add the speakers, plus the exhibitors family, the exhibitors' children, plus the guests who come to the expo. 200. Okay? And then when you talk to the people who have attended, you'll say, so how was the expo? Oh, it was really great. It was great. It was their first expo. It was their first expo, but it was really, really good. It was awesome. It was packed. And here's what, it's nonsense. Even the people who go to these microscopic expos believe that they've attended something great. That's because it's in a little tiny room and they put more people in the room than the room can hold. So you take a room for 160 people, you put exhibitors in there, you put tables in there, and you put the guests in there, and it's wall to wall, but it's tiny. And then the guests think it's great. It's amazing. We'll be right back.
Planning to buy food storage? Wait a minute. Many companies try to confuse you with the number of servings they sell. It's not about the number of servings, it's about the number of calories. In emergencies, calories mean survival. Go to ReadySupplyFoods.com for a comparison of leading companies.
Ready Supply Foods sells the most calories per dollar of any company. Our 23 entrees and breakfasts are delicious and full of nutritious calories. The new leader in value and quality. Go to ReadySupplyFoods.com today.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
Something shocking just happened in a Coast Guard unit in San Diego. The old guys in the unit have turned the tables and are now destroying the young bucks in head-to-head fitness tests. How is this even possible? Turns out the old guys in this unit have been part of a special test group for a doctor-formulated fountain of youth drink called Patriot Power Greens. Patriot Power Greens has been so effective for many of the older soldiers that it's made their achy joints, stiff muscles, and lack of energy a thing of the past. Previously, this drink was only available to elite military units. But for a limited time, the creator of Patriot Power Greens has set aside a small number of free sample packs specifically for our conservative friends. But you must act fast. Due to the high demand from members of the Coast Guard, our supply is extremely limited right now. To claim your free samples of Patriot Power Greens, go to greens75.com. That's greens75.com. greens75.com.
Are you worried about how dangerous the world has become? In these days of terrorist attacks, natural disasters, or even a future collapse, you need to be medically prepared to keep your family safe. I'm Joe Alton, MD of store.doomandbloom.net, where you'll find an entire line of uniquely designed medical kits and supplies for when help is not on the way. For everything from individual first aid kits to the ultimate family medical bag, go to store.doomandbloom.net today. That's store.doomandbloom.net. You'll be glad you did.
Do you have difficulty taking supplements? Are you searching for a high-quality, complete nutritional drink that your whole family will love? NutriMedical's Life Support has arrived. All of your daily nutritional requirements in one quick, delicious drink. Dr. Bill Deagle's Life Support is a proprietary blend of vegan protein, activated vitamins, essential minerals, amino acids, probiotics, green tea, digestive enzymes, anti-inflammatories, cancer prevention, detoxification, and much more. Your body will high-five you for this one. Life Support is the best complete nutritious meal replacement on the market. Whether you are an elite athlete, have post-operative challenges, chronic illness, elderly, or a family that just wants a quick, delicious drink, try Dr. Bill Deagle's Life Support for optimized nutrition in one great tasting smoothie. Just add cold water, almond milk, fruit, or anything else you like. NutriMedical's Life Support. Try our great tasting chocolate or vanilla today. Call 888-212-8871 or visit us online at NutriMedical.com. NutriMedical.com for the whole family.
We use mobile devices right against our bodies every day, but growing scientific evidence has emerged showing serious health risks associated with exposure to EMF radiation emitted from these devices. The solution is Defender Shield, the most effective mobile radiation shielding ever developed. Defender Shield blocks virtually 100% of EMF radiation from cell phones, tablets, and laptops, and starts at just $64.99. Buy now at DefenderShield.com. For 10% off, use promo code GCN. DefenderShield.com, the worldwide leader in mobile radiation shielding.
Hey everyone, with 20 plus years as a radio host, I've seen about everything. One thing that keeps recurring though are these timeshare charlatans. These high pressure salespeople who get folks to come out to some resort for a special weekend offer. Then they get them in a corner and browbeat them and coerce them into buying a timeshare they don't need, they don't want, and they can't afford. And then they're stuck with that thing forever. Monthly payments, mortgage payments, annual fees that keep going up and up. Well, up until recently, people thought they couldn't get rid of these things. You know, you can't get out of the contract, you can't get out of the deed or the membership. Well, that's not true. My friends at American Consumer Credit, a timeshare release company, can get you free. That's their personal guarantee. 12 years in business, free consultation, A+ rating with the BBB, they're the real deal. You want to get out of your timeshare contract? Call them now. 800-587-EXIT. That's 800-587-3948. 800-587-EXIT. Call now, 800-587-3948.
Class, I'm looking at TalkStreamLive.com and the three hottest topics right this moment. Number 1, cell phones. Number 2, radiation. And number 3, stocks. Interesting.
By the way, I wanted to say something important here. Grace and Julie, Grace Thorne, Julie Vassapoli, took me to a movie this last night called Miracles from Heaven. And I don't know if you've seen it. It's a worthwhile. The woman in it is Electra, that actress that had a TV show on Spy Networks and things like that. She, it shows her frustration with medicine. Finally, I cried through the movie because it brought back memories of when my little girl died of leukemia. And I need to say this. The medical profession is not there to help you. Like this, in the movie, that child was very fortunate and had a doctor that had a bedside manner for children. I remember Dornbecker's and the Masonic Hospital up in Portland for kids dying of leukemia. And I was about to be ejected from that hospital when I was running down this doctor and his manner with children when his head nurse quietly reminded him of who I was. I dared him to eject me from the hospital and questioning his ability as a medical doctor. And that is what's wrong in this country right now, is that it's all about money. It is, Hollywood is the least of it, and that is where most of your money is. Oh, why? You know, they want to help their constituents, and yet the whole thing was like a movie that was put on a shelf and forgotten because they did not want it to happen. Why? They put us in a building whose acoustics were so bad. Matt had professional people who were going to come in and tape it so that we had something to sell. The building they put us in was so bad in acoustics, nobody would do it. It was that bad. I could speak, and nobody could hear me because it echoed so badly that everything was distorted. What I did is like what I did at your expo. I sat in the middle of everybody sitting around a little circle. You know, if we had actually had that crowd, the workshop, it turned out the workshop would not have worked either. They had me quartered and drawn, and what the whole thing was about was to bust me financially. That's what it was really, truly about. That's the way I see it. That's the way it played. I came home so depressed. I'm now sick. Scott did boo. Oh, I hear your hiccups. Boo. Did that cure your hiccups? And I said, the hiccup is not, I'm ill. It is my vagus nerve that is cutting now probably blood off to my heart. And I am fed up with all of it.
Joey in Michigan, welcome.
Hello?
Hey, Joey, you're on the air. Welcome.
Hey, Benny. Hey, Rick. Rick, I'm calling.
Joey.
I'm calling to help promote this book about the intuition. I mean, most of the listeners, they may think it's nonsense. It's one of your better books. I mean, when we attended one of your seminars, Train Like a Seal, that was all about that book, nobody realizes the importance. Nobody realizes the importance of what's coming, that use their intuition, their gut God-given navigational tool. Your book will do that, and people will be helping you through this little hard time. But more than that, they're going to be helping themselves because they will at least have the ability to have it in their possession. If they choose not to read it, they will read it when the lights go out. They will learn from that book, and at no time do they need that book more than today. And it's
about empowerment. It's about that nobody in government wants anybody to be empowered anymore. That's what Common Core is about, and the reduction of education. That is what the food choices are. I said that when Walmart closed their doors, that was the beginning of the end. 2 days ago, I posted that all the major corporations now are closing doors because nobody's got any money to spend on anything anymore. Do you have any money? I don't. I am so broke. I am about to, I'm ready to give up.
Well, there's always darkest before dawn, Rick. I know you've heard that, but your book is going to be the guiding light for a lot of these people that don't understand intuition. And that book breaks it out. So, I mean, you really need to buy your book. And, you know, you're talking about a Walmart store. Ours were having clearances over 90%. 90%. And if it was $20 or 20% off, nobody looked at it. At 50, it caught an attention, but at 90, they bought stuff. I bought a $60 backpack for $5, a $27 knife for $1. They're just getting rid of it. And it's not one store. It was 7 stores from Michigan City all the way to Grand Haven and everywhere in between and east. But anyway, I called to explain or pass on how important your book is and how important not just helping you, but how it's going to change the buyer's life when he owns that book and he takes the time to read it. And he may have to read it once or twice. But without that book, he's lost. He didn't even know he's got that power. So that's all I wanted to say, and I want anybody else calling in to give them enough time.
Thank you, Joey. Listen, there is a 3-video series on Netflix called Remote Survivor. It just came out. And each episode has 2 individuals, you and Vincent, that they drop into middle of creepy terrain, like the middle of the rainforest with nothing. And in the next 3 days, you've got to hoof it so far for an extraction point, and you have to use your wits in terms of keeping warm, drinking water, and having carbohydrates and protein, electrolytes, so you can make it to the other side. 2 people fail, and mostly why they fail is not because they did not have the resources, it's because their attitude wasn't prepared for survival. And the one guy couldn't eat something because it was a bug. It's good protein, but he couldn't eat it because it was a bug. The other one that failed had claustrophobia and couldn't climb down into the ground with heat to keep his body warm. It's attitude, and that's what thinking with the gut is, not the brain. And here I am trying to teach people the first step in survival is your own instinct. That's more accurate than anything else, including knowledge. And if you don't have the attitude, it doesn't matter if the water or the food is in front of you.
Let me share this with you and the class. Joey and I have been talking off the air most every day, and we've been talking about intuition. We've been talking about thinking with our guts, and we've been comparing notes and connecting dots. Joey, am I right in saying that what we have figured out over the years, using our gut to guide us, we've been right with what we've determined? Now our timing is early. We thought things would happen faster than we thought most of the time, at least in my case. But we have been thinking with our gut and talking with each other and other instructors about how important it is to do that. Would you agree with that?
100%. 100%. And I mean, you know, anybody listening can hear in Rick's voice the sincerity of what he's saying. And he's trying to help. And remember that phrase, those that fail to plan to fail. And I really believe anybody chooses not to buy that book, they've chosen to fail. Not because it's a cure-all, because it will teach your brain how to think differently. It will help you focus into your future. And without that, I mean, it's like being lost without a compass. If you don't have a compass, walk in circles, see where it is.
Joey, one of the things that we've talked about is you'll be in your truck or I'll be in my truck and we'll be traveling. You know what? I don't think I should go that way. I think I should take this exit, or I think I should turn here. And we've almost all the time done the right thing. We've just felt, I think something's going to happen. Including when I slowed down driving or behind the wheel of a truck with my son in it. And I said, I just slowed down. He goes, Dad, you slow down. I go, yeah, I have a feeling that there's a deer that's going to jump out. And what happened was the guy behind me said, I'm not taking this. I'm just going to pass him. So the guy passed me, and 2 minutes ahead we see this guy in a ditch. Why? Because a deer ran out and he crashed into deer and he ended up in a ditch. Those are the kinds of things we're talking about.
And Rick's been promoting this, and nobody wants to listen.
Well, it's the IQ, the average IQ is going to increase after we fall apart. After society falls apart, those who are left are going to have the average IQ will be higher.
They have a much better chance of even waking up in the morning if they start reading and studying. It's just like Rick says about planting a garden. The first year is to grow a garden. The second year is to, and the third year, or the second year is to can it, and the third year is how to use the canned good that you have, because today everybody runs to the store. It's on-time shipping, right? On-time eating. Run in, grab it, and go. What are you going to do when there is no grab it and go? I really can't say anything else, but if you want to make a change today, not just helping yourself, helping Rick, you'll be helping yourself. You just don't know it until you get that book. And it's not like you're signing away, the rights to a brand new car. I mean, it's almost until you get it, you can't even talk about it.
Rick, Joey, Sears lost $580 million in the fourth quarter of 2015. They're going to close at least 50 more unprofitable stores. Sports Authority, they're going to close about 200 stores. Kohl's plans to close 18 stores. Target just finished closing 13 stores. Best Buy closed 30 stores last year. Office Depot plans to close 400 stores by the end of this year. Walmart closing 269 stores. Kmart shutting down about 24. Joey, thanks so much for calling in. Mike, you're up. And my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from ironedison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of ironedison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our ironedison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at ironedison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
This is a healthcare alert from the Pain Relief Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You don't have to suffer any longer. You can immediately qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you by calling our 24/7 Pain Relief Hotline at 866-389-0620. Delivery is free and all paperwork is handled for you. If you are on Medicare and have knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain, don't wait. You can qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost by calling our 24/7 Pain Hotline now at 866-389-0620. Our representatives are standing by 24/7 to take your call and rush you your pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you. Shipping is free and all paperwork is handled for you. Just call 866-389-0620. That's 866-389-0620. Again, 866-389-0620.
As if chlorine in our water weren't bad enough, now they're adding ammonia?
It's true. Some municipalities are now adding ammonia plus chlorine to your water supply. It's a disinfectant called chloramine. But with a trusted Big Berkey water filter, you can keep chloramine out of your water. New NSF EPA certified lab tests show EPA Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market. The gold standard in water purification. And our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Block-It Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockItPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockItPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockItPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
Hello?
Congratulations.
For what?
For losing all that weight. How'd you do it so fast?
ASAP.
ASAP what? What's that mean?
Are you ready to get as skinny as possible, as soon as possible, as simple as possible, and as sexy as possible?
I'm listening.
Then get with the ASAP program. It's real and it works. No smooth talk, no slick advertising, and no exaggerated claims of success.
I've got to know more.
Welcome to ASAP, as slim as possible. Whether you have 10, 20, or 50 pounds to lose, ASAP is your weight loss answer. ASAP targets the abnormal fat reserves and makes them available to be burned as fuel and contains no caffeine or hormones. Order ASAP at wholesale prices or join the team to share the business with others. Visit GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. Lose weight and look great with ASAP, as slim as possible.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares unfiltered and untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
Last, Doc Ram is with us, docram.com, DOCRAM.com. If you'd like to buy the book that Joey's talking about, you can go to docram.com and peruse the selections. Mike will be on in just a couple seconds. Something that really bothers me, Jimmy Kimmel Live had Ted Cruz on, and Ted Cruz is quoting on thehill.com as saying, if I were in my car and getting ready to reverse and saw Donald in the backup camera, I'm not confident which pedal I'd push. This is an absolute disgrace. This guy, is that the kind of guy that you want to be president of the United States? A guy who is joking about running over his candidate, his competitor, the candidate who's running for president, Donald Trump. Cruz jokes about running him over with a car. It's an outrage. Mike in New Hampshire, welcome.
Yeah, I just wanted to say Dr. Miller is actually my favorite guest on your show. He's the one who inspires me the most. He's the one that's the most passionate and on target about basically everything that's going on. Encompasses the entire picture of what's going on, shows us how bad everything is. And I'm right on board with all that. I fully recognize it. I love all the other guests as well, don't get me wrong, but in terms of overall knowledge and his ability to be passionate on the subject, which conveys the message to more people, that's the thing that really tends to have a greater impact on me personally.
Thank you.
I have a... Mike, thank you for that. We call them instructors here. We don't call them guests because, guests come and go, and our instructors have a wealth of knowledge, and they come to us somehow. They come to us, and we're all on the same page. Our instructors are all on the same page. And, I haven't.
And to further what I had to say, and I I'm glad you're out there, buddy, because you're not alone, and not by a long shot. There's many of us that are as passionate and feel the same way that you do, and I've, to hopefully put a bright spot in your day and maybe improve the outlook of things financially, I've got an idea, a novel idea, actually, that will put your talents to work and also do a lot of good at the same time.
There's a report that just came out on Investment Watch, and the headlines read, 1/3 of all Americans don't make enough money to even cover the basic necessities. I personally am below poverty level. How about you?
I am. I'm bouncing along the bottom, as I'm sure most people are, with no opportunities in sight.
And then when you go to places like Hollywood and you look at the way they live and the way they act, I'm embarrassed to even be a human being.
Mike in New Hampshire, would you please call me right after this broadcast? I've got several calls I'm going to be making and taking, but would you call me and I'd like to talk with you off the air about the opportunities that you have for Rick, and also talk to you about other thoughts that you may have. Would you do that? Would you like my number?
Sure. Which number? Number?
My studio number is 417-462-1105. 417-462-1105. That's my home number.
All right. I will leave it to you guys to put a good exclamation on this broadcast, because it's been very powerful, and I really appreciate it. And never quit, Dr. Miller. Never quit.
Never give in. Yeah, that's that's Galaxy Quest.
Mike in New Hampshire, I can't thank you enough. I talked with Sam Bushman a couple days ago, and I said, Sam, do you ever feel like giving up? And I was thinking, do I want to give up? And you've re-inspired us all. I can't tell you how important this call has been, and also the stack of thank you letters that I have on my desk that I received from the Seeds. Thank you so much, and I'm going to read some of them on Monday. Dr. Richard Allen Miller, thanks so much for being with us today. Class, above all, honesty and integrity. What happens next is up to you. DocRam.com. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
75 years ago, America suffered one of the worst moments in American history, the attack on Pearl Harbor. Now you can remember December 7th, 1941, with the purchase of the first ever 75th anniversary Pearl Harbor legal tender solid gold coin from the U.S. Money Reserve. Call 1-800-490-3200 right now for the official 75th anniversary Pearl Harbor legal tender gold coin from the U.S. Money Reserve, the only company authorized to distribute these 100% solid gold coins. Remember Pearl Harbor with this limited official gold release. 1-800-490-3200 or online at usmoneyreserve.com.